So my issue is my printer is currently doing like a faded print. You can see that the nozzle's not working great. This is the older print, but unfortunately these dimensions have changed on the design that I'm using, so this will not fit the current print that I'm doing. This is the recent one that just came out. As you can see, there's a big difference, almost purplish where the blue's supposed to be at, and there's like a fading in the upper blue here. Now, even though this is still usable, it's not what I expect to give out to my customers. I've done a couple nozzle drop tests, and these show that there are some issues, not only with the black, but you can start to see it within the blue as well. As the test progressed, and you can see the time, it only got worse. Now the blue's missing. So I'm going to show you a series of cleaning techniques that we could do that'll hopefully help fix this. So this is the original again. These are the latest prints that I did. So to initiate the cleaning process, you're going to have to set up your roll. This is important when doing the cleaning process. So that way you get the option to, after cleaning, perform a print test. You have the option of normal cleaning, medium cleaning, and powerful cleaning. It is recommended that you do several normal cleanings first, followed by medium cleaning if it doesn't resolve your issue, followed by a couple medium cleanings, followed by a power cleaning when it's done. If this doesn't resolve your issue, you can move on to also including a manual cleaning, which is located here at the bottom. The manual cleaning uses the steps that this advises you to do on a monthly basis after several print uses. I'll show you that right now. As you can see, this did not help. So here we're going to initiate a manual cleaning to see if this helps out. What I'm doing here is executing the manual cleaning option. Or you could view a procedure video here to show, but basically you're just going around the edges of the print head, the edges of the cap top, the edges of the wiper blades, stuff like that. You don't want to hit those directly, apparently, even though there's contradictory information out there, but I digress. Like potentially when you do a cap top or a head soak, you're going to flood the cap top, right? And then the point of soaking the head is to loosen up any debris. So I don't understand why it's bad to clean it like that. I don't know. Here's just the directions, just showing you around the edges essentially. It's important to follow directions so that way Roland doesn't get on you about warranty. So we're going around the print head, around the cap top, across the wiper blades essentially. Then we close everything when we're all set, and we should be good to go. See, I have the authentic Roland solution here. From what I understand, this is a mix of ammonia, 90% alcohol, and a little bit of water. From what I heard from a different source, it's 9 parts like Windex essentially, or 2 parts straight ammonia, and then 2 parts alcohol, and then a little bit of water. I don't know the factuality of that yet, though. I haven't read the ingredients on this yet. Regardless, I bought some extra sticks to help go through that process. Personally, what I like to do is I will dip it, and to prevent it from being oversaturated, I'll kind of give it a wipe on all sides. I have a trusty light to help us see a little bit better. And we're essentially just going around the cap top here. Try to be as thorough as possible. So again, going around the cap top here, trying to be as thorough as possible. Here we go with the wiper portion. Again, we're looking for this area here. Try to go around a little bit. seal that up. See the print head. Well, for a seasoned vet, they already know what they're looking for. I know my first time I was completely like, where the hell is everything? So I have a light to help us see a little bit better, but we're focusing on the underside of this. Let's see if I can get a good angle. And again, just going around side here. Hard to do it with the phone in the way. Let's see if all that way. We're going around. I'm not sure how I'm doing this way. I've already recently cleaned this, so that's why it's not too much showing up on here. That is it. Remove my light here, but now we close all the doors. Put all my stuff back. And then back on our PC, we just do finish all after we've closed all the doors and wiped everything down. And once the heads move back, you'll see all the options light up again. You can see a cleaning in progress in the background. Just taking a second. We'll speed this process up so that way you're not watching the full minute of the video. All done. So you can see the cleaning did get better, but it's still not where we want it. Looks like there's an improvement from yesterday to today's cleanings. You can even see some of the line here showing up. Almost not enough. So let's figure it out. The machine's in standby mode or sleep mode basically. I'm going to turn off the power here because we don't want it to run through its automatic cleaning cycles. I'm going to unplug it, and I'm also going to remove the Ethernet just to be safe. Ta-da, it is off. So for this next part, we want to expose the captop lines. According to the video that I saw, we want to clamp them off so that way they don't get flooded with the solution that we're about to put in. Those are hidden by this little facade here. Just removing the screws, you can pull it right out and it exposes the lines. The video I saw was also for the BN20, not the BN2-20A. But these are the lines to the cap top. I have these little binder clips. I don't want to use anything sharp that'll possibly damage it. So I am just going to clamp these on there. I don't know if the force is strong enough. Let's try. Doing my best here. Don't want to mess it up, but I will show you when I'm done so I can have both hands. So on second thought, these binder clips are not going to work. These are pretty good, man. So like you cannot put a lot of pressure on these to crimp them the way I want to. So I need to find a way to allow this to flood up without damaging the cap top too much. So I'll get back to you. So what I decided to do to play it safe is to use PTF tubing. I do 3D printing, and the PTF tubing actually fits perfectly. So I'm going to cut two to about the same length as right here, and find a way to stop it on the ends, probably using either hot glue or some other resistant item that I could jam up there. For the cut I'm going with is roughly 6 inches. Might be doing too much here, but I just put 16 gauge craft wire as a plug into here. not enough. I'm going to cover this with hot glue so that way it protects as a barrier. And I'm also going to try to find some kind of small tray that I can put on the bottom of this to prevent any leakage. So this is the solution I came up with. I did 2 PTF tubes and basically simulated captop replacement. Did a craft wire into each edge, then hot glued that into there, and have like a deep or a larger bottle cap just sitting there to collect any like fallout that might come out. I don't think it will, but essentially what we got to do next is pour the solution into here and get it to flood up a little bit. And the video I watched was for a BN2 or BN20. So this is a cap top of the solution as they recommended. They said you could use a syringe. That looks flooded enough. Let me do a little bit more. Trying not to get this to spill over. It looks like it's draining. I don't like that. Oh shit. Okay, for now that head is moved on there. I was able to flood the cap, and that's supposed to sit there for 6 to 24 hours. I'm gonna let it do its thing. There's 2 wipers on there. There's a rubber and a felt.
One is called a felt, one is called a wiper. This one is a wiper. The plastic one is a wiper. And it comes out just like that.
Okay.
That's the old one. You take the new one. Here, and you just push it in like that. So from you have the machine that has never been changed, right?
Yeah. So I bet you're wondering how I finally got it to work. The truth is, this is a brand new unit. They had to come and replace it. They came out a couple times to fix it, to try to repair it. There's a lot of stuff that I learned along the way. Mainly, the most important thing, if you get anything out of this video, the way the printer works is suction. So what you're hearing is the vacuum of the printer on. There's nothing pushing the ink out, it's only sucking in. So, and that goes into the waste cartridge for the most part, right? So it's requesting this certain amount of ink and then pulls it down to those tubes that I showed you earlier and then goes into the waste tank at the bottom. So flooding the cap top really isn't an issue. And I also don't understand why you can't get the printhead wet, considering that the chemicals in there are supposed to break up any minerals in there. But I digress. The closest they got was to do a nozzle dropout test, but the magenta column was still missing. And considering that this is not pushing out ink, my consensus, my ultimate thing was there has to be some kind of small blockage here, right? So that's what we're looking for. Because they were able to disconnect the tubing from the head and then pull the syringes out to see if anything comes out. And if you notice that there's a jam along the way, then you've identified where your issue's coming from. But in my instance, I think the issue was over here because they did not see any clogs in this area. They drained some magenta ink and pushed it in a bucket, and that just didn't seem to fix the issue. But ultimately, I think it was how this was vacuuming it out and still not getting that magenta column piece, so they replaced the unit. If you check in the description of this, the situation is the Roland support wasn't the greatest in helping resolve the situation as effectively as possible. They ultimately had me sign a contract to replace a print head, and without determining that the print head was the issue, right? So the technician came over and didn't do any troubleshooting and just swapped out the print head, and that didn't fix the issue. So from there, we went to replacing a second print head, or third print head essentially, because the original, the new one they replaced, the other technician came out, replaced the print head again. Still wasn't functioning, but we did get a little bit further to almost perfection. And then they went ahead and started changing solenoids because they didn't want to cut anymore. And ultimately, I guess they just gave up on the situation. So we couldn't get the machine to cut after the first visit, right? And they wanted me to pay for that. And so I was like, hey, you know, that was working prior to you guys getting here. And so they wanted to bill me again, which would have been about $4,000, which, as you know, is over 50% of the unit. I think the head change was 32 plus the visit was 36. But I was desperate, so I signed the contract, and it didn't look like any of that was working. And they just wanted to charge more. So I used ChatGPT to provide me the corporate emails of anybody that was willing to help. And ultimately, we did get this resolved with a new unit. They did try troubleshooting again a third time, and they determined that, hey, you know, no matter what we're doing, it's not fixing the situation. This time around, they did use support to assist me. The only issue is I was also a month and a half to 2 months outside of my warranty, which made things even worse because it's like, you know, you just finished that 1 year. I should have probably bought the extended warranty at least for 1 more year, so that way, you know, everything would have been covered in this instance. But I'm happy that we're up and running again. Hopefully, some of this information works for you. One recommendation I would say is I did put something about the PTF tubing and connecting it to the cap top that way. I wouldn't worry about it. If you're flooding the cap top, it's going into a waste tank anyway, now understanding this information for myself. And you should be able to flood it and have the head sit on there. It is recommended to use the Roland cleaner versus the ammonia alcohol mixture I was thinking about making. And the reason for that is we don't know the exact ratios. And it doesn't look like that information is readily available. And I'm not willing to risk something like that for this printer. But they also recommended, and I took some notes. Hold on one sec. Yeah, so they recommended that you should clean the print heads or do a manual cleaning once a week. What I was doing was waiting for the Roland software to prompt me to do a cleaning for it. Usually it'll say the time for manual cleaning has come. Go ahead and do such. So that's when I would do it. And apparently that is wrong. You should be doing this once a week. Additionally, you should change the wipers right here in this left side here every 3 months. And this is directly from a Roland technician. The cap top should be changed every 6 months. And then the blade Usually when you notice that it's not cutting, that's when it's time for a blade. I've also created a little 3D print that allows the blade to pop out just the length of a credit card as typically recommended. As you can see here, it's just a little chip with a pin through, but that's apparently the width of a credit card. And then you could just kind of rub your thumb along the top of the blade so you don't get cut and you know what depth it is. Some other things that I did wrong was when I first got the machine, and now that I know better, is I used a 60-degree blade, and I was looking through all kind of cut settings and recommendations to try to get the perforated cut. You really need to go to VersaWorks, go to cutting settings, and then there's like a force there. About 180 to 190 for this thicker 6mm paper that I'm using worked out just great instead of backtracking. But for the most part, when you're setting up a new spool, it'll take care of the depth portion for that. And if you do have any little issues, that's where I recommend making the perf cut changes. If anybody has any questions, I will try my best. I am not an expert. I am just picking up information as I go. Hopefully this video helps you guys out. Thank you so much. Like and subscribe for Shadow Moses 112, and check out our website, shadowmoses112.com, to check out the products that we have there. Basically what we do is a lot of 112 props for toys, action figures, and the other likes. So if you are a collector or have collections in your family, this is what we do to help, kind of get your stuff looking more coherent. Thank you. Bye-bye.